So, you think counting is simple, right? 1, 2, 3, easy. Well, in Japanese, there's this really fascinating twist that kind of changes how you look at everything. Today, we're going to uncover the secret behind Japanese counters, and we're starting with this one, mai. If you're an English speaker, your brain is just hardwired to say 3 t-shirts. But in Japanese, well, it's incomplete. There's a crucial piece of the puzzle missing between the number and the object.
Okay, let's put you on the spot. Imagine you're in a shop in Tokyo. You see 3 t-shirts you've just got to have. How do you say that? What's your best guess? Go on, pause and think about it for a second.
So, if you guessed something like san tishatsu, you were totally on the right track. But the really natural way to say it is tishatsu o sanmai. See that extra word right there? That's mai. So, what on earth is it doing there? That little word, mai, is the key to this whole thing. It's part of a special group of words called counters, and trust me, they are absolutely essential to counting pretty much anything in Japanese.
The official term is jashushi, but really all you need to know is that these are special words that you absolutely have to use when you're counting things. You can think of them like little sorting labels that give the number more information.
And the core rules here are surprisingly simple. First, the counter always comes right after the number. Second, and this is the key, the specific counter you choose depends entirely on the physical properties of the item. Is it flat, long and thin, small and round? That's what decides which counter you use.
Now, there are a ton of counters in Japanese for all sorts of things. Long, skinny things, small, round things, animals, machines. But for today, we're going to focus on one of the most common and useful ones out there.
And that counter is mai, pronounced mai. This is your go-to for anything thin and flat. Think sheets of paper, photographs, and even t-shirts. Because think about it, when they're folded, they're flat. It's a pretty clever way of looking at it.
Okay, so we've got the concept and we have our specific counter, mai. Now let's see how it actually fits into a sentence that sounds natural. The structure is actually very straightforward.
Here's the basic formula. You start with the item, followed by the particle o, then comes your number plus the counter mai, and you just finish it off with the verb. So, item, number counter, verb. Simple as that.
And here's that formula in action. T-shirts o sanmai kaimashita. See, we have the item, the number plus counter, and the verb. It follows that pattern perfectly. Every piece has its place.
Let's look at another one. Here we're talking about kami, or paper. Paper is thin and flat, so what counter do we use? Of course, it's mai. Nimai, 2 sheets. I used 2 sheets of paper yesterday. It makes perfect sense.
And here's our original example again. Lee bought 3 t-shirts. By now, sanmai should be starting to look completely natural to you. It's just how you say 3 when you're talking about flat things. This last example shows a slightly different sentence structure, but you know what? The logic for the counter is exactly the same. We're talking about a shashin, a photo. A photo is flat, so for one photo, we use ichimai. There is 1 photo on the desk. Easy.
Okay, you've seen the concept, you've seen the rules, and you've seen plenty of examples. Now it's your turn to put this knowledge into practice. I think you've got this.
So, I'll leave you with this question. Look around you right now. What other items could you count using mai? Maybe a stamp, a credit card, a plate, a CD? The list is surprisingly long once you start really looking for all the flat things in your world. So the key takeaway is this. In Japanese, the number alone often isn't enough. Just like the slide says, what you're counting is just as important as how many. It's a system that asks you to pay a little closer attention to the physical world, to see objects not just by their quantity, but by their category. And that's a fascinating shift in perspective, isn't it? Thanks for joining me on this.